Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the March 18th COVID-19 Daily Operations Briefing. My name is Dwayne Sherrick. I am the Planning Section Chief for this operational period. Please turn all cell phones off for the duration of the briefing this morning, and please note there will be no questions during this operational briefing. I'd like to direct your attention to your IAP, the Incident Action Plan. On page 3 of that document, ICS Form 202 identifies our incident objectives for this operational period. I'd like to restate those objectives for everyone this morning. First, we'd like to safeguard the community, including our residents, businesses, and visitors. Second, deter the spread of COVID-19 within our capabilities. Third, provide essential services to the community. And fourth, safeguard City of Janesville employees and preserve our city service power. We'll now hear from other members of the EOC leadership team, beginning with Operations Section Chief Cameron Nash.
Cameron Nash, Operations Section Chief. The EOC is maintaining activation at Level 3 Enhanced Monitoring. Each city department is performing their standard daily functions with a sufficient staffing level, and as the incident progresses, we will update 204s to reflect any changes. End of brief.
Thank you, Cameron. Next, we'll hear from Situation Unit Leader Maggie Darr.
Thank you, Dwayne. I'm Maggie Darr. I'm the Situation Unit Leader for this event. The city continues to closely monitor our staffing levels, how many employees are working, how many are working from home, how many are out sick, etc. This supports our objective of ensuring we can continue to provide essential city services and allows us to respond and adapt as the situation progresses. We're also closely monitoring levels of personal protective equipment, or PPE, that keeps our employees safe and allow them to continue to serve. An update on city services. Currently, the following have been affected. Recreation programs are canceled indefinitely. The senior center is closed. The ice arena is closed. Hedberg Public Library is closed. JTS is operating fewer school routes but continues to operate and has enhanced their cleaning protocols. Recreation is working on canceling all permitted events, special events for gatherings more than 10 people. And the public is prohibited from entering all 5 fire stations at this time, as well as the JTS Transfer Center lobby, and that's for the protection of our employees and the community. A weather update, there is a potential for rain in the next few days. Experts are not concerned about flooding at this time. In terms of infrastructure, there are no significant out-of-the-norm issues with city streets and infrastructure that we're concerned about. Alliant Energy continues to provide emergency and essential services to its customers. We are in close contact with grocery stores in the community, and they've been reporting shortages of sanitizing solutions and antibacterial products. We're also in close contact with the hospitals, both Mercy and SSM St. Mary's daily. Both hospitals are taking seriously potential concerns about large influxes of patients, and they're working hard to prepare. End of brief.
Thank you, Maggie. Next, we'll hear from Logistics Section Chief Mike Payne.
Good morning, Mike Payne, Logistics Section Chief. A communications plan as well as a medical plan have been prepared and are included in the current IAP. Over the last 2 days, our logistics team has received 37 requests from department, division, and office heads for PPE. These requests are in various stages of being processed. We have established an off-site storeroom for receiving and distributing these requested items. All future requests for additional PPE must come from department, division, or office heads using Form 213RR, which is a resource request form. All requests must be related to maintaining essential city operations. End of brief.
Thank you, Mike. Now we'll hear from Public Information Officer Molly Nolte.
Molly Nolte, Public Information Officer. As we know, the City of Janesville has activated its Emergency Operations Center to support a unified response to COVID-19. Our priority is safety and maintaining core city services, including police, fire, and public works. The most up-to-date community information can be found on the city's website, as well as in city press releases via email, on our Facebook and Twitter accounts. We're monitoring social media very closely in case of any misinformation, and so far, our posts have been met with calm from the community. The city has a community support hotline, which is available from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 608-373-6027. End of brief.
Thank you, Molly. Now we'll hear from Finance and Administration Section Chief Mandy Price.
Finance and Administration Section Chief Mandy Price. To date, we have spent $31,420.26 in response to COVID-19. End of brief.
Thank you, Mandy. Now we have Safety Officer, Battalion Chief Ryan Murphy.
Good morning, Ryan Murphy, Safety Officer. We just want to emphasize the use of PPE as prescribed by the situation, the CDC, and your department division protocols. We also remind everybody to continue to wash their hands on a regular basis using soap and water for at least 20 seconds. In the absence of water and soap, use hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. And lastly, with that, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. For our facilities, we want to continue to clean our workspaces thoroughly on a daily and regular basis, and high-touch surfaces should be cleaned more frequently. In the event of a presumed exposure, follow your department's division or department or division policy. Lastly, for employees, they should follow the City of Janesville contagious temporary illness policy. And if we have any individuals inside the city or outside in the public, if you have any symptoms of an illness, stay home from work and contact your provider by phone. End of brief.
Thank you, Ryan. Next, we'll hear from Incident Commander Chief Ernie Rhodes.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Ernie Rhodes, Incident Commander for the COVID-19 virus. I think it's really important that we reinforce social distancing and staying at home if you're sick. I know you've heard it a bunch, but it is very important that we do that. We really have to flatten the curve. And you've seen that in the media, and it's very important that we adhere to that. So try to refrain from going out. Obviously, if you need essential items, go to the store. Go to the store. Get your food. Not a big deal. But wash your hands and just be mindful of that distance between everybody. Also, we're urging employees and citizens of our community to go to ready.gov. If you don't have a family disaster kit, today would be a great time to put it together, or this weekend. And also talk about this with your family. What does it look like if somebody gets sick? Start to mentally prepare yourself and have that conversation with your family, what you're going to do in the event that you're going to get sick. We have a community support number that we would like to share, and it is a non-emergency number, and it is staffed from 8 to 4 at this time at the Emergency Operations Center here in the city, and it is 608-373-6027, or you can call 211. As you heard Maggie in our situational report, our food stores and our distribution systems, we have a lot of food in the stores. I went to the store this morning just to see for myself. There's plenty of food. Right, we're out of disinfectants, we're out of wipes, but household bleach and water does a great job on killing a virus and or bacteria, and simply washing your hands. So I want to remind everybody, your lights are working, your tap water is working, the sewers are working, your cell phone is working, the streets are safe, all of our critical infrastructure is still intact and in place. So just keep that in mind. I think the big thing is you're going to be out of your habit. You're going to be out of your routine. So just hang in there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Rhodes. Our last update this morning, or brief, is from Janesville City Manager Mark Freitag.
Good morning, everybody. Mark Freitag, City Manager. So yesterday afternoon, I fielded a question from a resident asking, why hasn't the City of Janesville declared a state of emergency? And frankly speaking, I'll tell you that I just don't think we're there yet. COVID-19 is not in Janesville yet. We haven't had a confirmed case. We have cases in Madison. We have case, at least one down in Rockford. And so, my expectation is it will certainly move up the I-39-90 corridor. But it hasn't arrived here yet, and so I just don't think that it's time yet for us to declare a state of emergency. Most importantly, the reason you declare a state of emergency is to give me additional authorities and our city leadership team additional authorities to be able to respond in a time of crisis. Well, right now, I have all the resources and the authorities that I need to deal with this, and so I'm not prepared to make that declaration yet. Is it coming? I think so, very, very likely, but now's not the right time. Secondly, for the City of Janesville team, I told you yesterday this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. I expect you to, think about what's the long-term duration and process that you each individually will have to work through this event in our nation's history. I would tell you that you got to eat right, you got to get sleep, you got to keep those stress levels low because anxiety is not going to help the situation. And so please, make sure that you're taking good care of yourself. And more importantly, that you're watching out for your teammates, okay? Those in the EOC, those in city departments, divisions, and offices, make sure that we're watching out for our teammates. Lastly, I'll just remind you, this is a resilient community. The community, went through a GM closure and has recovered, probably to many people's surprise, significantly better than what it was in 2008. We're doing great. So this community has a history and a presence, if you will, of being a resilient community. And so, COVID-19 is the latest challenge. We're going to work through it. But the City of Janesville team is going to lead the community through this. And so I expect you to continue doing all the great things that you do to serve our community and take care of our community. Be professional in how you conduct yourselves. Certainly be empathetic to our citizens here in the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I have just a few comments in closing this morning. Please complete all 214 forms in Web EOC. And for the duration of this incident, please remember to carbon copy the planning section for all memos and correspondences related to this incident. Everyone can now turn their phones back on, and thank you for attending this briefing.